Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're reviewing a new fragrance by the house of Alexander McQueen, McQueen Parfum and Eau De Parfum. So today we're gonna get into it, okay guys? Mwah. So the box is really unique right here. It just kind of has Alexander McQueen, McQueen's Eau De Parfum. Kind of has like this feathering of feathers around it. He kind of has like this thing about birds and birds' nests. Have you guys ever seen his advertisements and whatnot? But yeah, and it kind of has like this gold kind of framing around the box and whatnot. A very pretty box. And if you guys feel the box, it kind of has texture to it for the wings of the feathers and whatnot. And it just kind of has a staple right there written in black. Very pretty box. Really one of the nicest boxes I've seen in a really long time. Alright guys, so we're getting into the bottle now. And let me get a little bit closer. As you guys can see, it's kind of in the shape of an egg in some form. I told you it kind of has a thing for birds. Has Alexander McQueen written around the neck of the bottle. Kind of has like this really avant-garde kind of like a cap. You take it off, it's really like that. And it's just a very pretty egg-shaped bottle. You spray it just like that. Very fine mist, I will say. Has the plaque of Alexander McQueen right there. And if you guys are wondering about the parfum extract, I just took some video so you guys can see the bottle, which I'll insert right here. And yeah, the bottle's kind of similar. It just kind of is in black and has like these wings of gold going around it, but very similar. Alright guys, so the notes in this perfume are clove, pink pepper, black pepper, jasmine, tuberose, ylang ylang, and vetiver. Alright guys, and as usual, I have three of the strongest notes within the perfume. I have the tuberose, I have the clove, and I have the jasmine. So we're getting into the weakest of the three, okay? So the softest note is clove, and yeah, this kind of just gives it like a very spicy, kind of licoricey, kind of gourmand, kind of an aspect to it. Clove kind of tends to be like this Christmas spice that you use like in a lot of like Christmas pastries and whatnot. But yeah, this kind of gives it like a very like slightly, it's not gourmand, but it just kind of gives it like a narcotic kind of a feel. It's very like, oh my god, like this has an addiction to it. And yeah, this is what I would say this note kind of represents within this perfume. Sadly, the ylang ylang did not make it into this, and it kind of has this running theme of like flowers blooming at night, but I feel like the clove just kind of had more of an impact than the ylang ylang. But yeah, clove is in there. Next up, we have night blooming jasmines, and yeah, these jasmines just kind of have that very smell of like, I don't know, somewhat animalic, but someone in a way very clean. But it's not in a sense like a tropical jasmine or a beachy jasmine. It's more of like of a white, flowery, slightly clean, slightly mature kind of a jasmine, but kind of still has like, I guess, a hint of exoticism to it. I don't know. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. Very clean, very mature, has a hint of exoticness to it, but it's not tropical in any way. And yeah, I wouldn't expect Alexander McQueen to use a very tropical jasmine, considering that the brand is very Gothic itself. It kind of has a very salty quality to it though, if you get what I mean. But yeah, it's in there, and it adds to the white floral that we're going to get into next. Lastly, we have tuberose. Now, tuberose is the queen within this fragrance. It kind of has like this very white floral, slightly wet, slightly humid, but very green kind of a tuberose. Don't think of a warm, very overpowering tuberose. This one's kind of like a green tuberose, kind of more like this rather than the blossom, kind of pre-bloom. And yeah, it just has that very kind of grassy, very green element to it when you spray this perfume, but mixing with the clove and then the white florals of the rich night blooming jasmine, it kind of livens up the tuberose, but it is the dominant note within this perfume. And yeah, I would say think of tuberose in a vase full of cold water, barely about to bloom, and it just kind of gives like that very green, very newborn kind of a tuberose kind of smell, and that's really what it gives off. So I was given a vial of the extract, so the difference between this one and this one is that this one's a lot richer but smoother in a way. In comparison, I actually like the Eau De Parfum a lot better. Something about it just kind of develops like from top note to middle note to base note, where this one is just kind of like stays very consistent, and the ylang ylang is a lot stronger in this one, whereas opposed to the clove kind of gives like this very narcotic feel to this one. That's the only real difference between the two. Also, I feel like this one wears a little bit longer and a little bit heavier than the Parfum, which is odd, but yeah, it just does. I really do enjoy the concept of this perfume. Like the hashtag is bloom at night, and it just kind of like this whole idea of like night blooming florals, and they only kind of bloom at the nighttime and whatnot. And yeah, it just kind of it's very odd because I've worn this in the daytime. It's just kind of like it's pretty, it's nice. But I wore it at nighttime, and something about it between the heat of the summer and everything just kind of heightens the fragrance up. So I understand why they use those flowers. It's like this very white, floral. They're supposed to be very tropical, but they bloom at night, but it's in the Alexander McQueen way, the Gothic way in which they do things. And yeah, I feel like the concept is very pretty, it's very unique, and it's very them. In terms of sillage, it's very close. It doesn't project that far. It's actually very close to the skin. So it's a very huggable. You have to be close to someone in order to smell it. In terms of longevity, the most it it's lasted me is probably 4 to 5 hours. It's light in wear, but it doesn't mean that it's not bad. It just has a very pretty smell and you have to be very close and you just have to reapply it and that's not all that bad. I consider this to be an all-day perfume, but it is targeted for night wear. So just for the sake of the brand, we're going to say it's for nighttime, but wear it in the daytime if you want. It's not bad. It has both qualities that really render it to be good for both times. In terms of setting as to wear, I would wear everyday wear. Honestly, it's not offensive at all. You can wear it on a date, you can wear it when you're going out with friends, you can wear it at a dinner party. It just kind of has like that quality where it's like wearable every day, all day, and it's very pretty. In terms of whether it's masculine or feminine, it's extremely feminine because of the tuberose notes and those really white florals and whatnot, and it's very pretty. And it kind of has like that very like kind of spicy note within the clove and whatnot, so it just kind of gives it like a very feminine tone. So I would say it's pretty feminine. The ad features model of Marthe Verhoef, and it's shot in the Chateau de Fontainebleau within Paris, France. And yeah, it just kind of features her in the woods, very Gothic style, very Alexander McQueen. It's just kind of her in like these little garland flowers of a black dress that she has on. And yeah, it just kind of just like features her within a forest, and she's kind of like all this dry wood and kind of like this dark enchanted forest is behind her, and it's very appropriate for the setting of this perfume. I like the ad, it's just very them. In terms of similarities and first impressions, it's a really good perfume. A lot of people like it. It just kind of has this very white floral quality. It's pretty. A lot of people just think it's very pretty. In terms of what it smells like an Eau De Toilette version of True for Dare by Madonna. It kind of has that very narcotic quality, but it has those white florals that Madonna's True for Dare has, but just in a lighter, toned down version. Even though this is an Eau De Parfum, it smells like an Eau De Toilette version of that. So oddly enough, that's what it reminds me of. Alright guys, if you guys are looking for a deep, dark, sensual, but light wear fragrance, then get into McQueen's Eau De Parfum. Alright guys, I'm Andrew. Stay fresh, stay clean, smell good.